So let me start why this workshop exists. For years, we are focused on cold storage as a solution for post-harvest loss. We've had private investors come in and have installed solar-powered cold room. And we talked about preservation. We measured, we have spoken about reduced spoilage, but something became clear. Storage alone does not guarantee income. Storage alone does not guarantee scale. Storage alone does not guarantee stable prices. Farmers are still struggling. Aggregators are still guessing demand and end up selling to open markets. Wholesalers are still dealing with supply shocks, so they end up traveling to remote communities to source produce for better margins. So the question is, how do we now scale the innovation that we have through our existing infrastructures, especially with the purpose of scaling financing? Today, we are going to address all into this session, and we are going to start with onions. Our leader, the national president, who would take us through the vast potential that we have in Nigeria within the onion value chain as it relates to the opportunities we have within the landscape. We are going to talk about why onion storage is no longer optional for Nigeria's food system and how best we can reposition solar cold rooms from cost center to trading advantage. So the cold storage market access workshop. The purpose of this workshop is to build a connected fresh produce ecosystem using existing solar-powered cold storage as trading infrastructure. Our innovation workshop are the backbone of driving market readiness and ecosystem partnerships. Through collaboration model, these workshops strengthen advocacy and build practical knowledge across all stakeholders. We'll start with introduction, then our guest speaker. Then we'll have a presentation from FSS Foundation for Sustainable Smallholder Solution, who will be talking about farm aggregation as a tool for market inclusion, and would visualize the fresh produce opportunities across FSS cluster locations across the country. After which, we'll go ahead to talk about the market distribution presentation, where we'll discuss about the distribution opportunity via the Cultivate app, structuring produce distribution network using digital cold rooms. Then we will now capture your feedback and next steps in a bid to pilot this presentation. So these are the objectives we intend to capture with today's workshop. We intend to empower farmers and local markets by providing shared solar-powered cold storage and digital trading platforms that reduce operational costs, enhance market access, and strengthen community collaboration. The goal intends to support farmers through local aggregation hubs, support community collaboration through the community model, and digitize market access across Nigeria, which therefore overall lower operational costs for operators within the value chain. Who am I? My name is Majid Tukura. I am a member of the Executive Management Committee of the Organization for Technology Advancement of Cold Chain in West Africa. I'm also a data growth and sustainability consultant. I also work in the landscape of technology. Yeah. So
Hello, Mr. Majid.
welcome, Mr. President. I guess
Yeah,
network.
thank you. Yeah, the network is giving me problem for me to unmute myself. I have to leave the meeting and join again.
Yeah. Are you able to
Yeah.
start now?
Yeah, now I think it is okay, but my presentation is going to be somehow this thing that I will not be able to share any screen for now. Maybe at the end of the meeting, then I can share the slides I have.
Welcome, Mr. President. So I will
Okay.
give you the platform now, and you can go ahead.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Majid, and distinguished participants of this platform. Um, we are here to discuss a very important subject matter, that is the storage of onion. It's not optional, but it's something that we should do. Is a necessity. Let me first start by letting us understand what is this onion all about. To us, onion is an important vegetable crop that people appreciate throughout the world because of its distinctive flavor and medicinal content. There is this paper that we are writing. The title of the paper is Onion as a Food or Medicine. Onion as a food or medicine. Onion is so that very important because of its medicinal purpose that is appreciated by people throughout the world. And we have a slogan that there is no household that does not consume onion. Onion is important because it contains vitamin, mineral, antioxidant, which is used in management of obesity, cancer, diabetes, heart disease, Parkinson's disease, and other respiratory diseases. Nigeria is the largest onion producer in Africa after Egypt, producing 2.1 million metric tons of onion annually, both the wet season and the dry season production and the intermediate season, which we are going to discuss. And this production, the value for our production, according to FAO, they place the value of our onion production around 1.17 trillion naira, which is around 745 million US dollar. When you convert it to naira, then you get that 1.17 trillion naira. That is the FAO statistics in 2024. Onion is commonly produced in northern part of the country, precisely the entire northwest ranking first, followed by northeast, then north central. In the southern part of the country, it is commonly produced and cultivated in the southwestern part of the country, but some states in the south and southeast are also keen in the production. In the northwest, the largest producer of onion are states like Sokoto, Kebbi, Zamfara, Kano, Jigawa, Kaduna, then Katsina, in order of that I have just mentioned. While in the northeast, you have places like Yobe, Borno, Gombe, Adamawa, then Taraba, and Bauchi. Then in a place like the North Central, you have Nasarawa, you have FCT Abuja, of course, the center. Then you have Plateau, just come first, then Nasarawa, then Abuja, then Niger, and the rest. Then Benue, Lokoja. Then when you go to the southwest, you have Lagos, Ogun, and Oshun. Then when you go to the south, you have some people practicing onion production in the garden or in the river bank areas. You have places like Edo State. Yeah, that is a practice that they have started. Then when you go to the southeast, you have places like Abia showing so much interest. So these are the states that onion is commonly produced, but in commercial quantity is produced in the northern part of the country and southwest that is just coming up, like I said, Lagos, Ogun, and Osun. And this onion is mainly produced in the northern part of the country, and the consumption it take place in the southern part of the country. With Lagos having the largest market, not also in Nigeria, but in sub-Saharan Africa. Lagos is the largest consumer, followed by Rivers State, Port Harcourt. Then you have places like Delta. Then you have Oyo State and other states. I'm just giving you just sketchy. Lagos in the southwest, Delta in the south, Rivers and Delta in the south. Then in the southeast, you have Abia and Imo. So that is how this onion is being distributed. The production of onion commence. We have 3 seasons of production. We have the dry season production that is well pronounced, and that is the season where we produce large quantity of onion, which began in the month of September, October, up to November. That is the planting. Then harvest start in February, March, up to April. If you plant in September, maybe you can harvest in early February. If you plant in October, you can harvest in early March. If you plant in November, you can harvest maybe late April to even May. And we have the wet season production that usually commence around May, June. Most especially, that one is well pronounced in Kaduna, Kano, Katsina, Gombe, and some part of Sokoto. So that one, they start in May, June, and this harvest commence around early August, September, October, up to November. That is for the wet season production. Then we have the intermediate of wet season immediately, like in this part of the north where we just recorded a rainfall of like just 3 months or less than 3 months because we are in semi-arid region. Then we have the intermediate immediately after we harvest our millet. Then we transplant the onion, not plant to, because we must have raised our nursery in somewhere. They will now transplant the seedlings. Then this one is more pronounced in Sokoto, then and Kebbi State. Then harvest commence in November, December, January, and February. That is why if you check Sokoto and Kebbi State, they are the currently distributor of onion to other part of the country and beyond. So, and why is storage very necessary is because that in March, April, where we are harvesting onion of the dry season production, onion is available in every state of the country. Every state of the country is available in the northwest, is available in the northeast, north central, everywhere they are doing production. So the market is saturated. Even the export market is saturated because some of the countries like Niger, Burkina Faso, are also harvesting their onion at that particular time. So what do we need to do is to store our onion for off-season. So currently, what we are currently engaging or we are using is the traditional system of onion storage, where we buy the onion in March, April, construct our local storage facility with thatch and grasses, and we put the onion inside the sorghum straw or millet straw. We make it in form of a basin. We put the onion inside to make it like a pyramid. Then we now cover it with thatch material, which I will share the picture. When we cover it, we'll leave it there from that March, April, May, June, July. Sometime rain starts here in Sokoto in June, establish in July, reach peak in August, and cease in middle of September. So the dangerous time for we to store onion here in Sokoto is the August, because we are having too much rainfall and somewhat water. The system is not that effective or perfect. Water pass through the thatch material that we use to cover the top of the onion and get to the onion inside the local storage facility. Or sometimes because of change in temperature and humidity, there will be a kind of a build-up of heat deep inside the onion. But when you open it, the surface might sound very good. But if you dip your hands inside, then you find out that something is going on very bad. So the post-harvest losses to our traditional system of onion storage was 50%, but last year, 2025, it rise to 60% in the onion value chain, maybe due to climate change, like I just explained. Temperature and humidity is one of the critical factors that govern onion storage. And on that is the reason why we are employing the service of private to come and invest in more sophisticated storage facility so that we can improve the storage of our onion and also reduce post-harvest losses. Also, we can improve the income of the smallholder farmer by helping him to save his produce. And we can use that to improve the revenue generation of the state and the GDP of the country. Most importantly, it will serve as job creation for youth. And most importantly, for the citizens, like I used to say, there will be a price stability. It will help us to stabilize onion price that we used to have low price during the season and very high price and off season, precisely in the ember months or during the festive period. So the most important thing for us to know is that precisely the record of 2023, 2024, I think we bought onion around March, April for 35,000. And in September, that onion, the price rise to up to 280,000 in the market. Why in 2024, 2025, that is this season that passed, of course, we know what happened to a lot of food items. They were crashed in price, maybe due to the purchasing power of the people. But when you compare the price of output in the market and the cost of production, you find out that farmers are crying that everything is going at their expense. They are not getting the cost of input any cheaper, but the price of their output has dropped. So onion was sold during March, April of last year at the rate of 40 to 50,000, and the highest price was 120,000, which when you compare it with the post-harvest losses of 50 to more than 50%, you'll find out that those that store onion last year either return their investments or lose some part of their investment. Only few were able to make profits. But it's just because of the local system of storage that we use to store our onion. But by the time we improve on it and reduce our post-harvest losses, of course, 50% return of investment, that is at worst case scenario, 50% of return of investment will be guaranteed for any investor that invests in the onion value chain with the right storage system. Then I will drop on this. On marketing of onion, we have categorized it into 3 segments. We have the local market, where we talk about my 12, Eleme, Okum market in Asaba, Express and Symmetry market in Abba in Abia State, and other markets that exist within the country. We have the regional market, which is we export to our neighboring countries, Niger, Burkina Faso, Togo, Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, Liberia, Benin Republic. To the Central Africa, we export to Cameroon, Chad, Congo, Gabon, even up to Mauritania. So a lot, when it comes to onion, like the marketing of onion, the demand is always high at any given particular time. And we also have the export market that we have not explored, and that is the international export market, like exporting our onion to Europe and Europe. Then we have the Arab countries, then even the America. So we are yet to exploit that market. We have one of the best onion in the world, but it's because of the way and manner of our production that need to be done based on some certain international certification, like ISO 22000 and so on and so forth. So that is what is limiting us from exploring those markets. But with the recent coming up of AGUA, or the enactment of AGUA, so I know that we need to take advantage to get to the US market. Then we also have the processed onion aspect market, where we have multinational companies like Unilever, Nestle, like Dangote Seasonings, like Indomie, who are in high demand of processed onion, for processed onion, like onion powder and onion flakes, onion powder and onion flakes. So If we can take also the processed onion market, we'll use it to solve the import substitution for those companies that import onion powder into the country. We'll solve the problem with that and do more. So with this, I will say thank you for listening. Thank you very much. Hello, Majid. Hello, Majid. Majid. Hello.
That was a nice presentation. The data is quite interesting in terms of we having 2.1 million metric tons of produce that goes to waste, and it's a pattern that happens every year. The essence of this workshop is to identify stakeholders who are involved within the food value chain to take advantage of the opportunities for storage and for distribution with onions. And our goal with this workshop is every year we intend to explore different fresh produce. But before I go on, I would open the floor for questions and answer for just for 1 minute. If you have any question relating to this presentation, you can ask your question. Go ahead, Mr. Abdulaziz.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Majid, and I also appreciate the president for his presentation. So, my question actually is based on the fact that we all know, we are all aware about post-harvest losses surrounding around produce in Nigeria. So Alhaji mentioned something around them seeking for cold storage services, around looking at investors to bring in storage services for their produce. So I now want to ask, how sure is it that if we at Fruity Veggie provide this storage facilities, because it's something we've been working around for some months now, and we are about executing it. So I want to now ask, how sure is it that once we've actually bring on board these storage services, which we are looking around, what we are looking around is southwest Nigeria, but however, we can expand it down to the north. So if Alhaji being the president for the onion farmers, right? If he can actually put a guarantee form of they truly need the services, we at Fruity Veggie are willing to work with Alhaji and farmers for this storage service opportunity. So I really want him to answer this if they are truly ready for this services. Not that we will probably installed and reach, then there won't be any form of storage services needed in future. Thank you.
I have a follow-up question, Mr. Abdulaziz. Do you have a
Okay.
Do you have a
Yes,
code?
please. Their code room are currently available.
Okay. What is your location?
across Southwest Nigeria?
The purpose of this session is basically to identify market players like Mr. President, right, and identify local players in terms of storage, and basically ensure that the demand and supply is connected. So I can answer on behalf of Mr. President. We are committed to ensure, in fact, the purpose of this session is to ensure that we map locations where cold storage are across Nigeria and now ensure there is all year-round supply across the value chain, right? So, which is the purpose of this session? Mr. President, do you want to add to that? Mr. Bola, we will take your question immediately after my presentation so
Yes,
that
I want to add, Mr. Majid. I think he asked a very important question. We have some few things to show him. Like I know that, and you know that the first onion storage facility was built in Kano, about I think 10,000 metric ton storage facility by an Indian company called Prison Food, and they construct that facility. And when he wanted to construct, he asked this kind of question that, Aliyu, is there onion for us to store? And I told him that we are producing 2.1 million. You are just constructing storage facility for 10,000 and you are asking if we have. And I can tell you this, when we start supplying him onion, he was the one that asked our farmers to stop. Then farmers have no option than even to make some losses because they have already packaged this onion trying to take to the storage facility, and he said they should stop. And the main reason why he said they should stop is that he was overwhelmed with the onion that was coming into the facility. And he built a very big facility, but when it comes to the primary processing, like let's say packing, sorting, grading, he was doing that manually. So he could not cope with the onion that was coming into the facility. So to answer his question, you, Mr. Majid, you have been in Sokoto. We have taken you around. You have met our people, you have met the government, you have met us. You have met the real farmer, the traditional institution. So for what you saw when you came, at least you know that, not to brag, for me to say that there is a company that will supply us the facility, that we are not going to fool that facility for now. I don't think that company exists. So just to give him this thing that we are ready for him to come this March or this February so that he can start to maybe the construction of that facility, bring the equipment, fix it for us, and let him see what will happen in March and April. If he'll be able to store the onion that is in one cluster. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. That was a wonderful response. So to back it up, sometime last year, Mr. President took us to locations in Sokoto where we saw how these onions were stored. And of course, like he has mentioned, there is nobody that is able to store the onions that we produce. There's no one single person, let me put it the right way, that is able to store the onions that we produce in Nigeria. We have scattered investors that have built silos of cold room across the country. And the purpose of this workshop is to take advantage of those investments and take advantage of the opportunities that we have with onions to store onions across the federation, no matter where you are in Nigeria. Mr. Said, I will permit you, sir.
All right, thank you so much for putting this together. And as you have rightly said, this is connecting demand and supply in terms of market and also services. So I've been thinking deeply. Okay, the costs associated with the storage versus the price that is eventually going to be sold versus the losses that is going to be saved. Have you really done a deep dive into this? Because if we are storing to take care of off-peak period, that means we are going to be storing for a longer period between the peak period and off-peak period. We are talking about several months, and that's a lot of energy use. Have you done some kind of preliminary checks on the possible savings and also the associated costs? And is this service going to, I'm talking from the operator standpoint now, is this service going to be something that is going to be affordable and makes economic sense? I'm just asking the question. I don't know the answer to it.
That's a very good question. I think that was the first calculation we did when we went to Sokoto. We looked at how storage was currently being done in terms of the cost in relation to the investor, right? And we did a little calculation. So these are the calculations that we do, right? What is currently existing in terms of storage and whatever technology that we are deploying today, we still have to agree with the investor stroke operator on the cost effect of this deployment. What that means is that it has to make sense. But I'm sure Mr. President wants to add to that.
Yes, of course, the story for me, even as the president of the Onion and stakeholders, I think what I engage in most, I produce onion, I have a big farm, but I also aggregate from our cooperatives. And what I do is storage. And even with this system of storage that is so bad, that is the kind of a system of storage where I am telling you that minimum, you will return 50% of your investment from our statistics, outside what happened in 2025, which is a kind of a strange thing to most of the farmers. So I think, and that with even the local system, we get 50% return of investment. Thank you very much.
Mr. Said, are you good with that?
Yeah, I'm okay with that. At least the research has been conducted. There's information available to be referenced. That's the starting point. All right, thank you.
Mr. Bola?
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Actually, I just want to ask because add to what you said and ask a question. Actually, because of the storage facility, we talk about storage facility, and thank God we're talking about statistic here because I know me and Mr. President will discuss about this on the storage facility. Now, most of the storage facility that is being constructed or is being given to construct in Nigeria, the capacity is low. And the capacity cannot even take 1/3 of what the region is producing. Let's not talk about the entire country. So I'm very happy that we're talking about the statistic, and Mr. President is also saying that we need a bigger facility when it comes to storage. And for we to identify that, we have to know what they are producing. And now we know what they are producing. How can we do that? And the cost effective and every other thing. So the last question is that, Mr. President, I know we discussed a little bit about this other innovation on the post-harvest loss. What are you looking at on the innovation for the post-harvest loss that you have been a cure for the last year? And how do you able to convert it? Thank you.
Thank you very much. You see, we are doing our best with, I think the only thing that we are doing, to say the truth, is seeking for investor to come and invest in the storage facility. Like I told you, we have a breakthrough in Kano. And as I'm speaking to you, Mofi, Ministry of Finance Incorporated, they are trying to build, I think, around 350, if I'm right, or 450 thereabout in Sokoto. They do the groundbreaking, but we are waiting for the construction. I think they are waiting for them to import some of the equipment that they are going to fix on the foundation they have constructed. If you look at 450, compare it with around 400,000 metric tons of onion produced in Sokoto, you know that we are just scratching the surface. And again, we still are seeking the partnership and collaboration of onion processing plant. There is one that was constructed by Raw Material Research and Development Council, but yet to commence operation up to now. But I know that Bank of Industry gave them support so that they can commence operation. I know of another private sector, one Dawi Farms Limited also, that construct processing plant. So when you add all that together, like we said, we still have a a long way to go. We have a long way to go. But at least a joining of 1 million miles starts with a step. We are taking a step in the right direction. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. So the essence of this workshop is more or less a collaborative workshop for us to collaborate as a network to take advantage of the opportunities of storage and distribution. So this innovative workshop is divided into two parts, storage and distribution. Distribution and storage. Ogeneyume, Victoria, you have a question?
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Majid, and thank you, Mr. President. So I love your report on onions and your presentation. So my concern now, because the solution you are driving at, you are looking at solar cold storage system, and I want to ask, are you asking for this solution based on your own challenge as the president of Nigeria, or you are asking based on this solution, is it something that is replicable to every local farmers? Because if, for instance, now you will be able to secure investors for your business to come and install solar cold storage for you, how is it going to play in the businesses of other farmers, let's say in other region that is not close to you? So are you looking at solution based just for your own business, or something that every farmers can benefit from? And my second question is, the the process that you are currently using over the years, is it that I want to know what challenges are you having concerning those present method you are using to preserve onions? Is it that they are being infested with pests? and or they are being damaged due to climate change. I just want to shed more light, because for you to be focusing on cold storage system, bearing the fact that it is very expensive to acquire a solar cold system. So I want you to just explain those areas for me.
Okay, thank you very much. The situation with our current traditional system of storage is that one, it is traditional. Two, it is not effective. Three, like when I was making my presentation, I tell you that despite you just put your onion, you use sorghum straw or millet straw to make it in form of a basin, which we promise to share a picture. Then after you put the onion inside, you make it like a pyramid. Then you use a touch material, just like our local houses
Okay.
in the village. So when you put
Okay.
the onion inside, somehow, some way, you don't know what is going on. Of course, when rain fall, you expect that rain will not infiltrate the touch material. But because the
Okay.
system is not effective, um, somehow, somewhere, maybe during rain in this part of the country used to come with heavy wind. Then
Okay.
maybe the wind must have distorted the arrangement of the thatch. Then when you just wake up in the morning, you just find that um, water have entered into the onion. Or
Okay.
because of the heavy wind also, it has collapsed the storage this thing. And secondly, also, like I said, because temperature and humidity, especially during the raining period like July, August, is not being regulated, then a lot of things happen. When the humidity is high, of course, it can give a more breeding ground for fungi pathogens to
Yeah.
disturb
Yeah.
the onion and start making it to get rotten. And also, if there is no even that rottenness, because of change in temperature, the onion, despite being harvested, it has a life, it respired. When there is high temperature, it respire more. Then it will shrink. Even without getting rotten, you will come and see plenty scales inside the storage facility. You store 10 bag of onion. The onion did not get rotten, did not do anything. It lose weight, it shed its skins, and you will see like 4 bags, 5 bags, or 6 bags of onion, or 7 if you are lucky. And it did not rotten because of it has lose a lot of weight by shedding its skins. Each skin that dry will peel off. The outer flesh will dry again, peel off. The next one will dry again, peel off. Up to the
Yeah.
time that if you did not take the onion out, maybe you come and see only scales in your storage facility, and only 2, 3 bags onion. So that is what really happened in that storage system. But we are looking at a system, even if it is not that cold storage, a kind of a facility that we regulate, because onion can be stored in 2 type of temperature, or in 2 type
Okay.
of condition: the cold storage condition and the dry condition. The cold storage condition is reducing the temperature from 0 degree to from 0 to 4 degrees Celsius, while the dry storage condition is to maintain, I think, is from 31 to 35 degrees Celsius, and humidity below 60%. So, of course, if you can have a facility that will give us that kind of, I can't have that. I can't control the environment. I can't control that storage system. And again, you cannot store onion under shade, because you can, if you say you want to store it under shade to bring temperature down, what about humidity? Then you are going to increase humidity, and you are going to be left with a serious problem. So it's just a kind of facility, whether cold or dry storage condition, that will give us that effect, that temperature, that humidity that the storage want. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. I think you are okay with that response.
Yes,
Um,
yes. Thank you so much. Yeah.
yeah, thank you. We used the first hour of this session to talk about the problem statement affecting onions. And one of the things, or the summary of this conversation, was around the challenge, which is basically, as you all know, the broken supply chain. What that means is that the farmers, the traders, the small retailers continue to suffer major losses every year. It's like a pattern. God knows how many years we have gone through this pattern, right? Where we lose millions of fresh produce every year due to lack of access to affordable and reliable infrastructure. Of course, tight margins that affects the post-harvest losses, and of course, fluctuating demand and seasonal peaks. So this, of course, the pain points we discovered are for the farmers. I mean, within the value chain, the farmers have spoilage losses, which is lack of cold room, waste crops and profit, high upfront costs, or access barriers, distance to the nearest facility, increasing transport time and costs, limited awareness of available cold rooms. For the intercity operator, for those who are involved within the logistics value chain, most likely because of where we go to pick up our onions, it takes us a long time to travel and come back. So which eventually affects the logistics costs. Same thing for the traders and aggregators. I think we mentioned in the session, cold rooms are expensive and often unavailable or affordable. And the lack of integration with logistics and transport schedules. So we spoke extensively around the challenges, right? Our solution, the second part of this session, we'll discuss on the solution that we have in mind to ensure that this broken supply chain, we are able to link them up across each state of the Federation. It will interest you to know that we have existing investors who have deployed solar-powered cold rooms across certain states of the Federation. And one of the goals of this workshop is to work out a community collaboration model for us as stakeholders to partner towards storage and distribution of produce, starting with onions. So how we intend to do that is to connect existing infrastructures, which are solar powered. So solar powered cold rooms in Lagos, in Abuja, in Kano, in Kaduna, in Edo, we are connecting them for outright storage through our market leaders like the Onions Association for storage. So as an investor, you intend to store, we would connect you to the closest solar powered cold rooms in your location. As you all know, solar powered systems eliminate energy costs because of you want to ensure that temperature or the mechanics involved with temperature and humidity, you want that to work to ensure that storage happens properly, right? So infrastructure access and business support, we would provide you support through our innovation network. At the end of this session or at the end of this workshop, we would put together an innovation network whereby wherever you are in Nigeria, we will connect you to the closest solar powered cold room. Within a 3 to 6 months pilot, we would assist you in ensuring that transactions are done, meaning that we would ensure that if you intend to store onions, you are able to get access to the Onions Association to buy onions and store and stock fully these solar-powered cold rooms and take advantage of the rise in cost of onions. Mr. President, did you mention this year when is the best time to store? I think that's a very pertinent question. Hello? All right. So, of course, the last part is the market connection, which I mentioned. Direct links to local aggregation and supply coordination that drive sales. So the opportunity are solar-powered cold rooms, create anchor points for supply coordination, while enabling real-time demand, storage, distribution, and then delivery to your retail customers. So we are in partnership with some well-known storage companies who are making this possible, including others which we would identify on this call and add them to the network. But the goal is to connect solar-powered cold rooms across the country to aggregation hubs for supply. Right. So we have three pathways to achieving market access based on this model. We would connect farm aggregation hubs, both public, private, or platforms. As far as you are involved within the local aggregation, we would connect you to aggregate supply and coordinate volume forecasting for your customers, pricing and synchronize delivery schedules to solar-powered cold storage facilities. Second model is through logistics supply hubs, which are logistics cooling hubs, which act as regional consolidation and transfer points. They receive produce from our partner farm aggregation hubs to stabilize quality through cold storage and coordinate on-home movement to demand centers. And market distribution hubs, market hubs sit closest to demand. They connect fresh produce daily to markets. Our solution is, of course, channel establishment from farm cluster to market distribution. Farm cluster aggregation means that we will work with farm aggregation hubs, both locally within each state. The goal is to connect local aggregation across each state of the federation to solar-powered cold rooms. So with aggregation platforms, cooperatives, and associations, we would now ensure supply is ensured. Supply coordination means that we would work with logistics companies, which are basically storage and transport, to ensure that supply is handled and distributed to your customers for everyone who intends to work with us on this model. With wholesale, I think the last stage for our solution is market distribution. We intend to digitize each stage, both from the farm aggregation to supply coordination to market distribution through technology platforms, which we would do a presentation on very soon. So how it works is once we establish channel, we will now connect to supply, which is the solar-powered cold rooms across each state of the federation. Then we will now establish distribution at the last mile, right? So if you look at this presentation, you will see we have some existing platforms like a Aggregate. We have for the logistics supply chain like CargoLink, and we intend to incorporate Cultivate to ensure that they handle the distribution line of the digitization. How it works, this is just a further illustration on how it works. We will give an opportunity for FSS Hub to do a presentation on their solution as it relates to farm aggregation. So, Mr. Gabriel, are you ready?
Yeah, Majid.
All
It's
right.
fine. Thank you.
So, would you be presenting?
Yes, I will.
All right,
I'll
you can go
just
ahead.
show a few things. Yep. All right, set up. Yeah, please confirm if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay. A minute. All right, thank you everyone, and good afternoon again. It's really been a wonderful conversation, and for me, I've really learned a lot. And I think I want to again thank the organizer of this webinar, bringing everyone together to see that we work together to strengthen the agri space and the food sector. So I am Gabriel, and I work with Foundation for Sustainable Smallholder Solutions. And this afternoon, just to talk about aggregation as a tool for market inclusion, that is using aggregation to improve farm gate prices and market access in Nigeria. So, when I was just thinking that if one should possibly carry out a sort of needs assessment currently right now, just to understand farmers' pain points, uh, to an extent, we'll discover that most of the farmers are not really disturbed anymore about um, what to cultivate or how to cultivate. But market has really been a big issue. We have cases whereby farmers are able to, deploy good agronomic practice. They have access to quality input and whatnot, and they are able to do proper cultivation, having great yields. But where to sell, where to sell has been the issue, and that is exactly what we want to really talk about in this presentation. Um, when we say market inclusion, why does market inclusion matter? Why does it matter? Why do farmers need to be included in market decisions? We see that just by definition, when we talk about market inclusion, it means that farmers are able to participate profitably in markets. That is, they are able to sell their produce under conditions that rewards their effort. We get to see that uh, farmers do a lot. They actually carry the highest risk. They do the strenuous job uh, in food production, but only for them to have the smallest reward, and that is because um, they are not able to really have a say. They are not able to sell their produce under a condition that rewards their efforts. So they just produce. So when we talk about market inclusion, what happens without it? We see that there will be fragmented selling. Farmers will not be able to really bargain. Just after harvesting, you just get to sell at the farm gates, not being able to predict market, not being able to have access to price information, and that leads to instability in their income, and poverty continues. Poverty continues. I was saying that it gets to a point whereby farmers produce, but at the end of the day, um, not able to purchase the product of what they produce because they don't have access. They don't have access to market, and that way they will not be able to scale. They will not be able to negotiate, and they will not have. There will not be standards because middlemen will keep marking up prices, keep limiting their rewards. Uh, so what are the potential of market inclusion? Why does it matter? It helps farmers to earn better. It helps them to plan production based on demand. That is, they are able to really know that, okay, there is a demand for these tons of onion, these tons of tomato, or this number of of bags, and they supply to meet that demand. They're able to plan their production based on that demand, not just plant, not just cultivate, and at the end of the day, there is a sort of glut. They are not able to get their produce to the market. It also helps them to assess structured buyers. So when we facilitate that system for them, they are able to access structured buyers. They're able to invest back into productivity. And when we talk about this market inclusion for farmers, we are saying that aggregation is a potent tool to bring about that. Before I jump to aggregation, let's just look at these statistics from Nigeria Bureau of Statistics, and it is telling us about the gap, the gap between farm gate prices and market price. So when a farmer gets to when a farmer is excluded from market and just sell at the farm gate, we could see that there is a large gap, a wide gap between selling at the farm gate and having access to the markets. For onions, we could see about 100% to 160%, because again, farmers will want, these are perishable produce, right? Farmers will want to sell off. There is no market like that's market inclusion has not been facilitated. The farmer just depends on um, individual buyers, and because of that, the farmers will be working under desperation just to sell off, just to sell off. And at the end of the day, he gets to sell lesser, way lesser than what the market would have provided. And for onions, we see about 100% to 160% gap. For pepper, for tomato. I mean, these are wide gaps that if we really, for everyone, and even for farmers, right? I think I'll start with farmers. Farmers need to really explore that system that avails for market inclusion. And also, for every organization that has farmers' interest at heart, we need to, more than deploying interventions that helps farmers um, to have increase in their produce, we need to also work around interventions that helps them to assess market, that helps them to get included in the market, to play the market game. And that is the sustainability part. That is what actually differentiates humanitarian and just welfare intervention from uh, development approach, which is most times aim for the market for development. So we are saying that aggregation is a viable and a potent tool for this market inclusion. Of course, everyone on this call listening before now understand what aggregation means. Basically, it helps to turn many small farmers into one credible supplier. That is, um, either we empower them to get their production done, but we don't leave them at that stage. We then aggregate their produce. That is, we collect, pull their produce together so that we can so that we can connect it to the market. And why is aggregation done? Because market buy in volume. Market does not buy for an individual. I remember there was a time we were trying to facilitate that access to markets for some of our farmers, and the demand on ground was huge, that we needed to just partner with another organization that has a greater pool of farmers. I mean, as at then, right? So as to just meet that demand. Market does not buy individuals. They don't buy from individuals. Market buy volumes. And buyers also want consistency, consistency in quality, consistency in meeting their demands, not just variability. So again, it makes logistics cheaper, and it also helps enforce quality standards. So how is aggregation done? Aggregation, when we say, of course, we could have aggregation points, but the place is not the aggregation. The system is the aggregation. And what we do at FSSS is to first of all organize our farmers. We organize them into groups, into cooperatives, whatnot, and we are able to coordinate their harvesting. We are able to coordinate the harvesting because these are farmers that we've been working with from the point of cultivation, from the point of planting to the point of harvesting. So we are able to coordinate the harvesting to make sure that there will be little to no gap in their harvesting time, so that collection of their produce would be easy. And after that collection, after that collection of their produce at the aggregation point, we use our farmers hub. I'll still get to that as the aggregation point. We do sorting, grading, just so that we then do a little bit of processing, just to package and uh, and get the thing in a good looking, in a presentable manner, and we store it before connecting it to the already existing buyers. So the benefit of aggregation for farmers, it helps farmers to sell at a good price. It helps farmers to sell at a good price because they now work in the team with other farmers, and their voices become one. They are able to negotiate better. They are able to really pull their strength together. It also reduces exploitation. So there is no middleman, chunks of middleman coming up. Of course, for me, I do say that it's not the fault of the middlemen, because they just have to also get paid for the work they are doing. But when we are able to have that inclusion for farmers, when we're able to facilitate and really coordinate that system that help farmers access market, it helps cut away the middlemen, and it reduced them being exploited. It also helps them predict their income, so they know that okay, there is a demand for this um, these tons or bags of produce at this price. So it means that at the end of this farming period, I am expecting this particular amount, and it helps. You see, for the system, it helps to reduce food waste. It helps to reduce food waste in the case where farmers now produce, there is no market, there is no structured market, and especially if their produce are highly perishable, talking of tomato, talking of onions and or leafy vegetables, it leads to food waste if there is no market access, if they could not get their produce aggregated alongside other farmers. So when we facilitate this aggregation, it helps to reduce food waste, it improved food security, and it leads to stronger rural economics because farmers are able to make their money, they are able to get their livelihood improved, train their children in school, take care of their homes, reinvest again in their business, and it helps that community to really grow socioeconomic wise. And for the market, it ensures reliable supply because you know that there is a cluster of farmers you are expecting produce from. It also lower transaction cost and quality assurance. The way we even do it is we that are in the middle connecting, doing that connection, we work with these buyers, these off takers, really get someone from that organization to come train these farmers. Okay, what are you expecting? What is the most moisture content? What is the quality that you are expecting? You speak to farmers, train them on how to go about it, and you are sure that that quality will be met. So it helps to also ensure quality of produce for buyers. Without aggregation, we see that farmers will face small irregular volumes, price taking, not price setting. They will not be able to set their price. They will just take whatever any because at this point, especially for farmers that are into perishable produce, at this point they just want to get this thing off their hands before it gets messed up. So they will just most times take the price and not be able to really set price. It's also leads to immediate post harvest selling. Immediate post, they just want to push it out. But when they are working in a cluster and they know their produce will be aggregated, there is no need for just selling under unnecessary pressure. And we see that with aggregation, farmers gain um, ability to time sales better. We work with farmers who are in clusters and cooperatives who will even after aggregation wants to store their produce themselves, not selling to us and we storing, but from their own just by their own intelligence, they want to store and kind of project and study the market, and that has really been of great advantage. And like I mentioned the other time, it also reduced post-harvest losses. Well, I know that the previous slides has just been talking about what majority of the people on this call already knows, but talking about Foundation for Sustainable Smallholder Solutions, we use this model
Mr.
called
Your
Farmers Hub. Yeah,
thing is not moving.
what do you say?
The slide is not moving.
Really? Let me
Yeah.
try. I- is he still static?
Yes,
Hello.
just click the presentation view.
Oh, okay, let me do that.
Mr. Said,
Is he up now?
no.
Still not up? Really?
Yeah, just go to slideshow and then it should move.
Yeah,
Go to slideshow.
just a minute. Let me know if it's up. I think it should. Is he up now?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, thank you
But
so much.
Yes.
you can move it so that we're sure it's moving. Yes, it's moving.
Oh, okay, thank you. Okay, apologies. So I was delving into the model that we use at Foundation for Sustainable Smallholder Solutions. We call it the Farmers Hub, and the Farmers Hub is just like a hospital for farmers. You know, when farmers need quality, especially rural farmers, I mean smallholder farmers that are in the rural community, when they need in the city we keep talking about uh improved crop varieties and all of these, and most times uh most of these products are just in the urban areas, just in the cities, while smallholder farmers that actually feed the nation in the real sense of it are far from this product, this quality input. So, farmers hub are located. Farmers, we have over 61 farmers hub across 12 states in Nigeria currently. So, and this farmers hub is more like a one-stop commercial service platform where farmers can come to have access to improved inputs, the likes of uh, quality or improved crop varieties. I mean to say they have access to quality inputs, the likes of improved crop varieties, the likes of um, fertilizers and whatnot. And again, they come there uh, for advisory, for trainings, for capacity building. So we organize training, capacity building on good agronomy practice for these farmers. They come there to learn. We set up demonstration plots just for them to to enhance their adoption of um, the improved varieties. And it's also serve as an aggregation point where those farmers can bring their produce at the end of I mean at the point of harvesting, they then come bring their produce to the farmers hub so as to assess uh, premium market. So that is the platform we use, and this is how the structure looks like. You see the farmers hub at the center, the smallholder farmers having access to input, agricultural input sales, having access to mechanization, access to information, then could also bring his produce to the farmers hub for aggregation so as to have bulk purchasers and even exporters, of take this produce from them. Yep. So I will just wait a minute just so that you look through before I take it off. Okay, like I mentioned, we have over 61, about 61 really, because we are currently on a project uh, that is funding the construction of more farmers hubs. But currently we have 61 across the country, and we have our presence in the Jigawa, Kano. I mean, the presence of this farmers hub. Of course, our operation um, cut across other states, but this farmers hub, the structure of this farmers hub, we have it across the state listed. Okay, I will just stop here. If there are any questions, I will really be glad to hear them and try my best to respond. Thank you, and over, Majid.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gabriel. That was a very nice presentation. So we'll open the floor for questions. Go ahead. I will start with Mr. Abdulaziz Alawi.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gabriel, for the uh, nice and wonderful presentation. So, yeah, earlier before I introduced myself as the founder of Fruity Veggie that actually provide storage service to farmers. So now my question for you is, I'm now representing an association, and I recall you mentioning the aspect of aggregation where you work along with maybe associations of farmers and all of that to be able to meet demand, because it's actually based on aggregation is based on volume, right? So yeah, so now are you still willing to work with farmers association, and myself being a president of farmers association in southwest Nigeria, where we actually have volume of farmers spread across southwest Nigeria. So is the window still open for association to work along with your organization? So if it does, so what's actually the process, and also what kind of food produce do you aggregate, and in terms of volume per time as well? Thank you.
All right, thank you. Sorry, I missed the name. What's the name again?
Yeah, Abdul Aziz Alawiye.
All right. Thank you so much, Abdulaziz. Yes, so we are very much open to working with associations to because again is we have farmers at our heart. And just like I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, I think a lot has really been done when it's at the end of having farmers to produce. But the other hand of getting farmers produce to the market, I think we have to do more, right? Especially in this country, and we are really really keen at that. So yes, we are open to partner. We are open to work with farmers to help them facilitate access to market for their produce. Like let me take it a bit forward so you could see that we work in some states in Southwest. We have about five of our hubs in Oyo State, three in Ekiti, four in Ogun, four in Ondo. Maybe you could just, I don't know if it's Majid that would do the connection so
Yes,
that,
yes, yes. That's the point of this. That's the
yeah,
point
so
of this session.
so Majid can do that connection and we will take it from that. I think he also asked question around the value chains we work, right? We work across grains and cereals and also vegetables. So we do tubers. So we do tubers too. We do so quite a number of them. So but I think we can get to talk and it will really make it smooth going forward. Thank you again, Abdulaziz.
Yes, thank you. So the essence of this session is Nigeria has so much potential in terms of production capacity. And from your presentation, I just love the charts or the visualization you presented relating to where your hubs are. The aim of what we intend to do is to ensure that there is proper linkage across the farmer hub down to the cooling hub, then to the distribution centers, which is basically the idea of using solar powered cold drones as effective distribution centers, which would be the next presentation that would go on. So, Mr. Abdulaziz, were you okay with that response, or you have a follow-up question? I guess you are. Um, Madam Victoria, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Gabriel, for your presentation. So, like you mentioned, you said your hub is a capacity building training centers for farmers and also and also an advisory center as well. If they have challenges in your hub, you're able to sort it out. So, because I'm a PhD researcher, background in agriculture, and I'm also into environmental toxicology. And a lot of research work have been done in agriculture, in food security. I want to ask, how do you marry this research work and because you are in contact with these farmers, how do you marry those getting solutions from research work that have been done? Because I believe when farmers comes to complain, some researchers have done some work. Do you go to look for your solution in journals, or you go to research institute to gather work that have been done and offer that as an advisory service to these farmers? And I also want to ask, because currently I'm actually looking for a PhD research project that I can work on that has to do with farmers. If you have anyone in particular that is of a concern that I feel I can work on, I'm open to look into that aspect that has to do with pesticide or that has to do with toxicity. So any issue regarding that, if any of the farmers have come to complain, because I've been actually looking out for some on the internet, but since you already have contact with these farmers, they have pressing needs that I may not have seen on the internet, and I don't know if you have. So please, can you just share more light on that? Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Am I still on? Hello, can you hear
Yes.
me? Okay,
Yes.
thank you so much. Kai, just apologies. Help me with the name again. Did you mention it before?
Oh, my name is Victoria.
Okay, Victoria.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. So, the should I say the governance or the structure of our farmers hub is that what we do is we get to partner, not employ now. We get to partner with a key farmer in that particular community where we want to set up. That, I mean, that's how it's been done. That's the step. So if we should identify a community where we want to set up our farmers up, what we will do first is to identify a key farmer or a key agripreneur who to a very good extent has good rapport and highly respected amongst the farmers in that community. We partner with this person to make him or her the farm manager. So every of our farmers hub has a farm manager, right? Who
Okay.
gets
Okay.
to sell, who gets to um what's it called, mobilize farmers if we want to have trainings and all of that. This so
Okay.
that person serves as a sort of liaison person between our organization and the farmers, right? So when a farmer comes to our farmers hub and is in need of advice and all of that, just solutions, if it gets beyond what the farm hub manager can handle, it's been escalated. We have in our team agronomists, we have in our team soil scientists, and again is that we partner with research institutions. We partner with a whole lot of research institutions where we there is this knowledge sharing, and we are able to address whatever farmers questions and concerns are very well, effectively, really. So, yeah, we don't just go online to search for journals and the likes of that, but we have that expertise within our team and within our
Okay.
partners.
That
Yeah,
should be of help.
yeah. So then, concerning just the moment you talked about
Yeah.
something that bothers farmers, I was almost going to jump on seed, just going to jump on
Feed.
seed, but I seed, right?
Okay,
But I
seed.
think,
Okay.
yeah, but I think you then narrowed it down to
No, no,
um
no. No, I'm not. I'm not narrowing. I won't focus. I'm not saying that I'm not open to other area. I'm just give an instance
oh, okay.
that I said pesticide, but I just want you to talk more. I'm not focusing on pesticide. It's just that I
Oh,
don't want to do a research that is not relevant at the moment to farmers. I want that whatever thing I'm doing is what farmers need, at least because I'll be spending time and years. So let it be that I'm doing a research that farmers are having those challenges. So I just gave an instance that's pesticide, but I'm not restricting it to it.
okay. Again, is that we can get talking after this call, but we are currently implementing a project funded by Gate Foundation, and the problem statement of that project, I think, is something that might interest you. Is that again, if your focus is not the seed sector, it might not really interest you. But the problem statement is that a farmer in Oyo State might plant a particular variety of maize, right?
Okay.
And have a different experience from a farmer in Sokoto that is planting the same crop variety. Now, this is it. We want to use data. We want to
Okay.
use data to be able to advise farmers of what crop variety fits the agroecological zone that they are. So, and we
Okay.
are going to develop an app on that so that when a farmer is in your state, you could just log into that app, put all of your details there, and you are asking that app that which of maize crops variety is best for me to actually cultivate in this particular place, and you get that solution. But like I said, we could get to talk more. I'm an agronomist, though I'm beginning
Okay.
to tilt, but we can get to talk more maybe after this call.
Okay. So
Thank
if
you.
you can, if I can connect with you, that would be fine for
Definitely,
me.
Yeah, I think
definitely.
Majid
There will
is.
be there would be an
Thank you.
innovation community or network which we would create, and of course, you can have other conversations there, so that we don't
Oh,
drift from the topic that we have at hand.
exactly.
Yeah. Mr. Said,
Yeah, thank you, Majid. My hand has been paining me. Oh. Yeah. So, thank you so much, Gabriel, for the presentation, and I can actually attest to the work you are doing so far, because we have those hubs. We know where they are within Ogun State, and one in particular is Mr. Vasil Sedo, who I know has been performing wonderfully well within your network at Udolewu. And I can also confirm that Ewiku have actually conducted several trainings within that hub to actually build their capacity. So thumbs up to you and your team. So
Thank you so much,
my
Mr. Said.
contribution would be, bringing technology into all of this. And this is what we do at Ewiku. We blend aggregation, physical and digital, to with agribusiness support services as well. So with your already existing network that we are aware of within Ogun, we can also expand into those other hubs that you have to provide such services as well. So I think that's something we can discuss much later. And I think Majid is already doing a fantastic work, bringing everybody within the ecosystem together. The infrastructure service provider, the technology provider, the farmers, the aggregators, and I believe this is a worthy cause that, sorry, the researchers too, I forgot to mention, a worthy cause that we must all, contribute towards. Thank you.
Great, Mr. Said. I think that's really fantastic. It's time for us to digitize the Farmers Hub. I mean, the activities really, and I think I find that I was going to call it a proposal interesting, really, and yeah, it's something we can pick up and get to discuss outside of this call.
thank
Thank you
you.
again.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gabriel. So we have Mr. Nasir, so you can go ahead.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good
Mr.
afternoon.
Good
Gabriel,
afternoon.
yeah, very apologies. I joined late and I missed a lot. So my questions, please don't mind my questions. I will take you back a little. I'm the vision carrier for Advocate for Grassroots Empowerment, and it's a youth structured organization that promotes precision agriculture, climate smart agriculture, and some part of what you do at your hub in across northern Nigeria. So, as the co-founder and program manager, I always want to think of partnering with similar organizations. But it's nice finding out that you work across northern Nigeria. First, I would like to know where your hubs are located in Kano, Jigawa, and Gombe State. That's where we're having an ongoing project. And my second question has to do with the engagement of youth. how can youth-led enterprise be positioned not just as producers, but as operators of aggregation centers? So I'm concerned about the involvement of youth and how to champion aggregation across northern Nigeria. And I'm also wanting to know more how you are, how opportunities to integrate precision agricultural tools such as remote sensoring and field forecasting into what you're doing and partner with organizations like ours, since we're working with within similar terrains. And I also want to know how can you support what we're doing in regards to the provision of solar power cold storage hub in some locations. So how can you also incorporate what you're doing at learning to organizations like ours? Those are my two questions. And apologies, I missed a lot. And thanks to G for the great work he's doing. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Nasir. Please, can you still hear me? Hello?
Yes, yes, we are with you.
Okay. Thank you again, Mr. Nasir, and thanks for your kind words. We start with how youth can be involved in the aggregation that we do. Right, I think I get that. So, like I said, across our hubs, right, we have hub managers who actually coordinate all the activities in the hub, and we prioritize youth actually when it comes to selection of our hub managers, because again, this is someone that to an extent we want the person to be tech savvy. There is a reporting tool that is technologically built, so we prioritize youth. And also, um, when it comes to aggregation, there are logistics, there are some other works aside coordination. So we work with youth to actually carry that out. I don't know if that's what you're talking about. Then you mentioned technology tools, the likes of remote sensing and all of that. Um, like I mentioned, we facilitate trainings for farmers. Apologies, I think my background is becoming noisy. We facilitate trainings for farmers, right, on good agronomy practice and even the use of agricultural technologies. Uh, so yes, these are the things we use. These are the innovations we deploy. These are uh, the techniques that we train farmers and encourage farmers to adopt. So, and of course, in doing that, we work with um, organizations that partners that have that expertise and can deploy. So yes, we recognize that area and we work around that. I think which other one I missed. Okay, the names of where our orbs are, specifically in Kano and Jigawa. You will
Kano,
you will
Jigawa,
permit
and Gombe.
Kano Jiga permit me. I won't be able because we have about 12 in Kano. We have three in Jigawa. We currently we don't have in Gombe, but before the end of this year we should have there. I won't be able to make mention of the exact location on this call, but if there is a way I can get it across to you outside of this call, I'll be glad to do that. If Mr. Madrid could help, I can just get it across to you through him, if that's
All right.
fine.
Thanks, Mr. Gabriel.
Yeah.
If you look at my presentation, one of the things we're looking at is to match aggregation with supply coordination through solar powered cold rooms and warehouses, then distribution. And we are looking at digitizing the whole supply chain because this alone is a supply chain. Um, Working with cooperatives, associations, and platforms across the supply chain for us to do that. We would based on how you operate, we would, at the end of this session, share a form where you fill in where you operate, and based on that, we will now match you to the closest solar powered cold room or the closest aggregation hub across those locations. With that said, we have just two hands raised up before we go into our next session that handles distribution. Steph, it would be great if you can rename yourself, but let's go with Stephanie. Go ahead, Stephanie. Okay, your hands is down.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right. Thank you so much for the insightful session. It's truly an honor to be among professionals. I'm Stephanie. I'm a student of agriculture, of course, and everything you've said here is it's quite insightful. Now, my question is, with the recent implementations, policies, and technologies coming up, and the small inclusion with youth, especially in tertiary institutions, we follow a system where we're taught the basic stuff, things we need to know as regards to agriculture, but we're not really kept up to date with the things that we're supposed to know. Climate change, seeds. I was opportune to join the NASC 8th edition that held in Abuja, where they talked about seeds. Someone mentioned climate climate change and how seeds would respond in a particular location and won't in another location. My question is, how can you bring these to students? Because most of my course mates, most of my peers know nothing about this. And if we're not really exposed to stuff like this after graduation, we don't really know about this, and that's another on its own. So that's my own question. Thank you.
All right, Stephanie, I want to say well done, well done. Getting to know that you attended the NASC event shows that you are really um, out there for knowledge. If it's not against your security, whatnot, which school is that?
All right, thank you. I'm a student of the University of Jos in Plateau State.
Okay, okay. So, well, I know that there are quite well, not a number, but few programs that are beginning to go around universities and higher institutions, just to say, trying to give that practical exposure to students in our Greek. And again, is the government also recently in partnership with Agra had a fantastic event just to include and involve youth in driving the agri system, agri sector in Nigeria. Yeah, there are youth focused programs, really, I want to say, but like you mentioned, we need to do a lot more. This is me just teasing Majid. Maybe there will be a sort of something like this for for young, for youth, for students, just so that we bring youth up to speed also. But I would just say this is that while organizations may be doing, or while players in the agri space may be doing little in bringing exposure and knowledge to students, I think students can also run after them, get those exposures, get those knowledge, jump on LinkedIn, get to know events that are happening, attend, meet up with people. I think that was what some of us did, and we could go that
most
route
of
again.
us
But
tell
y- yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, I think Magic can add if there is any other thing.
yeah. Um, are you a member of WIPAD in your location? Young Professionals for Agricultural Development.
Oh, no, I'm not.
All right. My earliest days at the university, I was a member of Wipers Nigeria, and I was active um, a member. So join a group or association. The essence of these programs is also to also target young people. You can also get engaged through um, this new supply chain that we are building, right? So identify where you can come in and plug yourself in. In the next 10 years, you will definitely become an expert. So identify where you find yourself in terms of strength. I mean, the essence of this workshop is to digitize the sector, both from the farm aggregation hub to the logistics, both storage and transport, to the distribution of market hub. Look at where you play and dig deeper into that space. So thank you so much. It's 70,084. Go ahead. Do you have a question? Um, in the absence of that, I guess you are not with your phone. We would go ahead to the next session, which is the market distribution session. Gina, I think I need to put in an apology. We've just extended 30 minutes beyond the 2 p.m. time. So definitely you still have your slot, so you can go ahead and do the presentation for Cultivate.
Sure, sounds good. Thanks, Majid. Let me know if everybody can see my screen, and then we can get started.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Perfect. All right. Well, hi, everybody. There's been some great sessions so far, and we'll be continuing on with a session on Cultivate, which is a app and project presented by the Your Virtual Cold Chain Assistant. From the Base Foundation. The Base Foundation is a nonprofit group partnered with the United Nations Environment Program based out of Switzerland. And today I'll be giving a quick presentation about what the Cultivate app can do. My name is Gina, and I'm a technical product manager with the team at Cultivate. And I'll be giving you guys a bit of an overview about what the app is capable of. And if you're interested in learning more, we have an onboarding kit that I'll also um, show you a little bit of for getting to know a bit more about the project. So before we dive into the technical specifications of the app and how it works, I think it's important to understand some of the context under which our team kind of came to put this project together. Um, we operate in a few different locations, including Nigeria, but also India, Iraq, and Guinea-Bissau. And when we look specifically at the case of Nigeria, I'm sure this whole group is very familiar that 40 to 50% of the fruits and vegetables that are produced in the farming space are lost before reaching the consumers, typically because of lack of proper storage and transportation facilities. And especially without access to cold rooms, often we see farmers and traders compelled to sell crops for whatever low prices they're able to be offered. And so the initialization of Cultivate came from considering if farmers could instead, store a portion of those crops, wait for more favorable off-season rates, if through the use of cold storage methods, and then our team is thinking around how to digitalize this process. Um, One main thing that we also see is a lack of trust in cooling rooms and manual operations. And so this means that on ground employees that are working in cold rooms often have to, record produce that's being brought into the room manually in a notebook, keeping track of payments that are due and received. And manual operations can, be a source of inefficiency. They can also be time consuming, and they're also a source of risk considering human error. And as organizations try to scale their operations, that can also, scale this risk and this issue. So when we look at the solution of your virtual cold chain assistant, what we offer is three pieces. The first is a business model where we power like solar power cold rooms under a cooling as a service model. Then we have the Cultivate app that uses different types of technologies in order to enable things like digital inventory management, shelf life predictions, market linkages, analytics, etc. And then with all the stakeholders that we work with, we also we work with cooling companies to train farmers on the benefits of cooling, engaging with the local community, training operators, etc. So today we're going to be focusing on this second main component, the digitalization piece. The first question that we consider is, how do we design Cultivate in the first place? In order for us to be able to put all these features in context, we've gone about developing the functionality of this solution over the course of the past few years to ensure that the solution is, well suited to the needs of farmers and small scale traders. We've designed the app every step of the way with a user-centered approach. So we take user feedback regularly in multiple formats. We do pilot training. We've worked with on-ground leads and monitor the reception and the utility of each of our new features over time. So it's a very collaborative process. And with that being said, uh, kind of looking at what is Cultivate actually, right? So Cultivate is an app that's been designed to be used on ground to manage day-to-day operations on site at cold rooms. This is both from the perspective of the cold room team, the operators and the employees, as well as the customers. So we cater to three different user types. We have the cooling companies themselves. So that's the company management teams, the teams that are managing maybe several locations of a company. And here, our users are able to, like our key management employee users are able to get a full comprehensive view over the activity that's happening at all of their locations. The second type that we work with is the operator. So this is the operator that's typically on ground, on location at one room, and they're the ones that are responsible for managing the check-ins and the checkouts, monitoring storage times, etc. So here they're able to manage all of those day-to-day operations through the app instead. And then we have our cooling users and our consumers. So this is both farmers and traders who use the cold storage to store their crops, but also customers who are interested in purchasing produce directly from the room. So here, users can view the shelf life of either the crates that they're storing or the crates that they're interested in buying, and they can receive, key notifications about activity that's happening in the room through SMS or through app notifications. Overall, the app is free to download, so it's available on both Android and iOS. If you're curious, I definitely suggest taking a look at it on the App Store and downloading it and trying it out. It's totally free to use. And then on the right here, we just have a list of some, broad strokes benefits that the app offers. So first and foremost is the digital inventory management system. It offers remote monitoring of temperature utilization and finances. We also have real-time prediction of crop quality and degradation. We have impact metrics directly from the data stream of the data that you input and monitor through the app. We have market price forecasting to be able to benchmark the prices that our users sell their crops at. And then lastly, we have our marketplace to connect buyers. So this is crucial for the market linkages. So quickly, just taking a look at how the digital inventory management works, right? At the heart of Cultivate's functionality is this model. So you can see the photos on your screen here, and this is how users of the app would view the inventory in each room. The key takeaway here is that each item that's being stored in the room is visualized in the form of these cards. So it's each unique commodity that's owned by each unique user. And there's key pieces of information for our users on crop type, storage fees, the number of crates being stored, shelf life predictions, And that kind of leads us to the next key thing to highlight here, which is our shelf life models that allow us to predict remaining storage life. So this is core to the digital inventory model to be able to predict these remaining storage lives of the produce that's being stored. So it not only keeps track of the items that have been checked in and checked out, but also offers insight into how much longer is this crate of produce going to be fresh for. Um, so here we have digital fruit and vegetable twin models, and these are physics-based models that essentially are able to calculate the ideal time to pick up. And it factors in a remaining, couple days so that when you've picked up your produce at the end of that lifespan, you still have some time for marketing, transportation, and selling, etc. So we have these models for about 26 crops right now. And we use images and colors to indicate the urgency of the pickup. You'll see the colors change from green to yellow to red as pickup becomes more urgent. Next, we have market price forecasting. So using machine learning, we also offer predicted prices for commodities, and it's split out by state and commodity. And here we've seen users use this tool to be able to essentially get an idea of what the market rate value for the crops that they're trying to sell is. So you can benchmark that and decide, at what price would you like to sell your crops for, post checking them out of the room. Here you can see a little demo of the inventory management tool on the left. So this is just a screen capture of what it looks like to navigate through the app, and then some highlights associated to it. So as I've said, you can track your stored crops, you can track your shelf life. Operators can manage day-to-day operations through activities like check-ins and checkouts. We've talked about remote sensing, market price forecasting. We also have tools to take a look at your room occupancy planning, etc. Yeah, so with that being said, I think now we'll pivot over to the market linkage side of things, which is a core focus of today's presentations. So with the, core functionality of the inventory management and the shelf life monitoring, um, a uh, a key feature that uses some of that technology is our Cultivate Marketplace. So here now we enable smart digital marketplace purchases that can happen directly through the cold room itself. So when storing produce, now cold room users can then additionally mark that they want their crops that they're storing to also be placed for sale. And they can have a set price that they'd like to have them for sale for. And then as a result, any buyer that accesses the Cultivate Marketplace, anyone that opens up the app and looks at what's for sale on the marketplace, can see the products that are listed for sale, and it'll be marked along with their freshness, their quality. So this functionality, as I mentioned, leverages the same shelf life modeling, the same digital inventory management. So that means that there's that transparency of information around the produce quality. This also allows for flexible purchases. So based on whatever the buyer needs, buyers can either purchase by the kilogram or they can make bulk orders. So they can purchase from one or many cold room locations, one or many sellers. They can coordinate to either pick up their produce, keep it in the cold room, or arrange for delivery. And all of those operations are conducted digitally. So with the marketplace, we have it connected to Paystack directly, which allows for digital transactions. And that means that everybody directly automatically gets their due share of every transaction, and manual management of payments is not needed. Um, so with all this being said, how do we see this, play out in action? We typically see two main use cases. One is direct sale from farmer to buyer, and then the other is that the operator can facilitate the purchase between the farmers and the buyers. And this is key when we're talking about like aggregating or bulk purchases, where we want to coordinate more, more scale, higher scale purchases. This is where the operator can play a key role in acting as like the middle player to enable these sales. Um, yeah, so currently this is a feature, as I mentioned, our app is available across a few different regions, but this feature is uniquely only available to the Nigerian market right now. And so users in Nigeria are the sole individuals that have access to this functionality of the app. And with that being said, I'll also, we'll do a little demo here on the left-hand side as well of how the marketplace feature looks and works. So here you can see that it looks very similar to the same information that we display at the inventory management level. So the cards have very similar information. You can add items to your shopping cart just as you would with any other e-commerce platform. And depending on, whatever it is that you want to purchase, you can add everything to your cart. And then when you're ready to make your purchase, you can go and take a look at your shopping cart items and move forward from there. And all of the items that are placed for sale here are by the cold room user who has stored their produce in the room by marking their items for sale. And buyers that are interested in looking for items to buy, they can use a range of filters and sorting options to get a clear sense of what it is they want to purchase. And as I mentioned, buyers can buy based on whatever their needs are. So if it's like a selection of a few kilograms, like in this example, or if it's a bulk scale purchase. Then you can get an overview of all of your order details here and then select your pickup method. And then eventually settle your transaction through Paystack. And I think here it's important that, we offer these three delivery or like pickup options just because every user might be different. You might be planning on coming in person. You might be far away, so you need these delivered to you. Or you might not be particularly ready to sell them right away, but you're interested in purchasing them and storing them at the room. And here you can see that the Paystack process went forward, and you can see the thank you for ordering screen that summarizes everything that's been purchased up until now. Yeah, so our team is really excited about the Cultivate Marketplace, and it seems like this is a great forum to be able to present it because everybody here is interested in increasing market linkages within the cold chain. And so, if you're interested in learning more, I definitely suggest that you take a look. I mentioned that we have different onboarding material that users can take a look at. The last highlight feature that I'll mention about the app is that we also offer impact data, meaning that after you've, used the app and had some activity tracked here, you also have access to aggregate statistics that explore kind of your usage of the application. And this can either be from the farmer's perspective or from the company perspective. And we think it's important to have this information accessible so that users can, also get an overview of how useful the application has been to them. And then we've also seen users use this information in other capacities, such as, being able to attract further investment into their cold rooms, or be able to apply for microfinancing loans. Now, if this is something that has been, of interest to you, here's, some things to consider as next steps. As I mentioned, the app is free to download. It's available in over 10 languages. And it's important to think about what other, contexts and applications the app can be used for. So, we've seen conversations around it being applied to refrigerated trucks, movable units, integrating it into logistic services. Overall, if you're interested in learning more, we have the open source code that's available, but I think to this group, what's more relevant is the onboarding kit. So this is a key resource that has, documentation and training all around anything that you would need to know to onboard onto the use of the project and the app in particular. And here you can see a little snapshot of like what that looks like. So we have end-to-end onboarding material here on the left where you can learn about each of these components. You can receive a certification after going through all the training material. And then you can also get access to documentation. And then this is just a quick little snapshot that takes you through what the onboarding kit actually looks like. So you can log in and once we get in there on the site, you can see all the different sections of the onboarding kit. We have feasibility assessment material, business model material. This is the training section for cold rooms. As I mentioned, the code and also capacity building material that you can print and use in whatever context you're operating in. And so, yeah, I definitely suggest that everybody takes a look around and explores the use of how this onboarding kit might be useful to your use case and the app in general. We, have had a chance to work with a few piloting companies where they've adopted the use of this of the application in general in the context of their cold rooms, and we've seen some great results. So yeah, if anybody's interested in learning more, definitely happy to answer questions either here or by email later. But yeah, thank you so much, everyone. That's it from me.
Yeah, thanks, Gina. A great presentation. So now we'll open the floor for questions. Any question? All right. So the point of this last presentation, it's basically, Vivian, go ahead.
Okay, greetings everyone. Thank you so much for the presentation. I really didn't know such amazing innovation already exists. And my question is, I want to know, in Nigeria, you said you can use it in Nigeria. I want to know if you have physical offices that can, for example, I'm based in Abuja, that can actually help maybe in implementing this projects, what you shared, the coaching for those farmers that might be interested, or how can individuals or people that are already partners of agricultural firms can come in partnership with you?
Yeah, great question. We don't have any physical offices or presence in Nigeria, but you are, able to reach out to our team directly, and we have, sessions that you can book to learn more about the onboarding process. So once you've had a chance to take a look at the onboarding kit, if there's, more questions or support that would be beneficial, then you can reach out directly to our team and set up a time and we can chat more.
Thank you.
Can you, Vivian, can you expand more what your organization do?
Are you asking me?
Yes. Are you involved in the supply side or at the demand side? Do you
I'm
work
at
with
the demand
farmers?
side. Yes.
All right. So explain how you work at the demand side.
Okay, so I am part of a startup that is looking into preservations of um, farmers' produce to meet up demands, like to extend the shelf life. Like let's say dehydration of onions into flakes so that farmers or the suppliers will be able to access it for a longer duration. That's reducing the spoiled level. So we actually have an e-commerce platform, and I love the fact that this platform already have e-commerce platform that can also help farmers use their store their produce and also access high demand and sales. So for me, I feel like how we can work with this brand and also establish or integrate with other farmers or communities that might really love this idea.
Are you exploring API integration?
Am I exploring DPI inspiration?
Integration, do you have an app or a platform?
No, we have a website.
All right. So the essence of this workshop is basically to also connect to startups who are building solution, or they are basically at the MVP stage and they are trying to validate their model. The essence of this workshop is to know that through this network, they are able to access fresh produce from aggregation networks. They are able to access logistics from logistics network through solar-powered cold rooms, and they are able to distribute to their markets. So now you work at the market hub side, meaning that you can now go ahead, generate demand, and once you generate demand, purchase produce from aggregation centers, store in cold room, and distribute to your customers. Does that make sense?
Yes.
In the scope of the work that you do. So the capturing of participants for this workshop is to target people like you who are also involved at the demand side. But of course, the supply chain in Nigeria or Africa is broken. How do we connect them together? This is the way that we can do it. So thank you so much for your question. Mr. Liu, go ahead.
Hello, good afternoon, all. It's a pleasure to be with you. I just want to make an inquiry with Cultivate, making emphasis with cold storage. I am a researcher and I'm also a farmer. I work with farmer groups. I would like to know, because we work with onion crop, and most of our storage facility are not cold storage, but rather we worked with ventilated storage facilities and structures like that. I want to know if these are also applicable with your application, or it could come under, we could work together with not cold storage structures for accessing markets with you. Thank you.
Yeah, so you can definitely still use the application for your use case, even if you don't particularly use cold storage. Essentially, the model of the application just depends on the fact that you have, a physical room where you're storing your produce, and then you will have a digital tracking of those items. And then if you would like to have access to the feature that tracks the quality degradation, then what you would need is a physical sensor placed in your room. And then that way you could track the temperature and the, other factors around the produce in your room. And then that would be able to translate to the quality estimations. And so if you're using a ventilated space or a refrigerated space or anything else, like it doesn't inhibit you from being able um, to use some of those features. I would just, recommend that you take the time to understand your particular use case and how that might like be represented on the application, because it could be different for everybody, regardless if they're using cold storage or not. But yeah, there's definitely nothing inhibiting you from being able to explore the use of Cultivate for your use case as well.
Liu?
Yes, thank you.
All right.
I'm
Thanks
with
so
you.
much.
Okay, it's a pleasure.
Mr. Oluwatosin, go ahead. Mr. Oluwatosin, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. Good afternoon, everyone. So, I'm directing my question to you, Majid. So, you mentioned that you have code systems across some locations. So, I want to ask, do you have any functional one now in Oyo State?
I would share the location in Oyo, but yes, there is in Oyo.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. So at the end of this session, there will be an innovation network which will require you all to join. And if you have any further questions around location of the cold room, and you're ready to store, or you're looking to aggregate and store onions, or you already have fresh produce and you are looking to connect with solar powered cold rooms, or or you are a startup and you are looking to distribute, or or you're a startup and you are looking to work on a distribution model, then of course we would connect you immediately. We are looking to pilot within the next 6 months, identify innovators like all of us in this room to pilot aggregation and distribution, which is the whole concept of this presentation. Is there any other question? In the absence of none, Gina?
Sorry, I was just going to point out that for anyone that's interested in reaching out to our team to learn more about Cultivate, I left a message in the chat that if you're interested in using it for your use case, you can book a time with our team at the link that I left. You can book a virtual meeting with us on Google Meets, and we can chat more. That's it from my side. Go ahead, Majid.
All right. Thanks so much, Gina. I think I put out a poll. Please confirm if you've seen the poll. Yeah, Valentine, go ahead.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Please, I've been following the meeting right from when the meeting started, and I've been hearing a lot. My name is Valentine, and I studied agric. I did BSc in agriculture, yes, at University of Benin, Benin City, Edo State. And I love when I see something like this. So my interest was in the cooling chain, like when we talked about the cold storage, the cold storage. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. When we're talking about the cold storage, like I heard the presentation that was presented recently. So, and somebody was asking if there has an office in Abuja, or in Nigeria, I mean to say, if I should correct that, in Nigeria. So, we are looking for whereby, farmers in Nigeria, most of them have been having issues in terms of spoilage of farm products, like, or maybe meat and all those frozen storage and co. And most of the cold storage system we have in Nigeria, depending on the company, some of them are updated. They are using the old system, which is not environmental friendly. Yes. So, in Nigeria, we are trying to whereby at least to get a good things for like a cold chain that can be sustainable and also reduce energy. Nigeria consumption of electricity and coal, and the solar system impact, yes, to help the farmers in order to reduce the spoilage and all those issues. And some, there is truck for that, for logistics, that can also empower them, help them to save maybe moving one goods from, let me say, like tomatoes and other vegetables from one state to another. So, and I believe that most of the farmers that are here, and those that are meat sellers and that into plant or crops, okay, crop, let me say crop, that it will be useful. And if we can have such industry that can help in terms of preserving those things, and it will help them to reduce loss, yes, the economic loss in terms of their farm, and also empower other agriculturists. Thank you, sir.
All right, thanks so much, Valentine. The essence of this session is for us to solve the challenges that you have mentioned, right? So we will close the meeting. I think we've extended beyond the time. We already have the scope of why this meeting is set up to use solar-powered cold rooms as effective distribution center. But in order for us to make that happen, we need to back integrate, which is the concept of what we are trying to do with this workshop. We are going back and we are connecting farmer hubs directly with solar-powered cold rooms and markets for distribution. Then if you run an e-commerce platform, you can easily plug into the Cultivate app and handle your distribution. Same thing for processing, market cooperatives and hotels, restaurants, and cafe buyers. The use cases are poultry farming, use solar-powered freezers to enable poultry farmers to distribute their produce. Food processing also use solar power dryers and chillers to support aggregation processing and preservation. E-grocery platforms use solar powered cold storage, serves as decentralized micro fulfillment hubs. All right, so in the concept of cultivate, you now have the opportunity to distribute your produce to customers through the network. For people who do export, this is an opportunity for you to buy at very good prices from the farm gates, keep in the solar powered cold drones and fly it to the UK, the US, or whichever country. So it acts as free dispatch coordination points for export distribution. Same thing for wholesale off-takers. The technology we're all familiar with: solar panels, batteries, inverter system, refrigeration units, and monitoring units. We have ownership models which include upfront payment, subscription, and community models. What we are trying to deploy is the community model, which enables you on a pay-per-use as a customer to use the solar-powered cold drones to store and distribute to your customers. Right. We also have partners like the Leap Energy, who is the sponsor of this session, who have solar-powered freezers and chillers for your distribution. For those who are looking to outright purchase, you can also contact me via email, majidtokura@gmail.com, and I'll connect you with our partners. Our next steps, you can take up your phone and handle this, fill this survey. There's a question in which you can fill. Immediately you fill this survey, it takes you directly to the innovation network where I think Victoria is looking to connect with somebody from the aggregation hub, Mr. Said also, and whoever is looking to make connections. You can also book a consultation session with me, where I would connect you to infrastructure access, finance access for those people who are looking at owning their solar-powered cold rooms, and of course, market linkages with the aggregation hub and all that. Once the structure is clear, we move to coordinate introductions and distribution alignment, meaning that we begin pilots immediately. Immediately we'll establish that connection, we begin picking up from our aggregation centers to the solar-powered cold room. Most of the participants on this call should be from Abuja, and we have a solar-powered cold room we are looking to scale in Abuja and other locations in Lagos. So please join the community and let's move this conversation forward. So thank you so much. Have a nice week. I will send an email for those who are not able to capture this QR code to contain the link to the form. In the absence of no question, we call it a day. Scan this QR code. There is a survey that you fill. Immediately you fill the survey, you'll be directed to the community. Alternatively, if you're looking to own a solar-powered cold room or partner with a local distribution hub, meaning a solar-powered cold room in your location, then set up a call. I would like to know how you operate within the value chain. So thank you so much and have a nice week.